Thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show. Our mission is to empower education and enable dreams, creating a platform to promote young people in extracurricular activities and community outreach. If you are interested in partnering up with the Varsity Sports Show, find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or call or text us at 480-779-9437. The Varsity Sports Show, Arizona's home for youth, high school, college, and you.
By the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit educational organization, and its partners.
You're listening to the Varsity Sports Show, home of Arizona's youth, high school, college sports, and you, empowering education and enabling dreams, right here on KDUS AM 1060 in Arizona. And now, welcome to the Varsity Sports Show.
Hey, Corey, pop it in at 9:14, right before the break.
Gotcha.
You guys ready? All right.
Nervous but ready.
And you're live.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. My name is Vince Lucio, and we are back in studio again for another fun-filled week of action-packed, educational, entertaining content. Joined in studio today, we're doing something a little bit different. If you're on our social media, we're simulcasting, but you can see us live in the studio. Here, joined in studio with our very own amazing, talented team. A couple of them joining us again this week. We are joined by Danny McDermott and Jorge Guajardo. Good morning to you both.
Good morning, Vince.
Morning, Vince.
How's it going?
Do you want to go or you want
It's good. It's been a bit touch and go here. I had to wake up early on Saturday, which is typically not something I enjoy doing, but I was really excited on my way here. So I'm looking forward to the show.
Yeah, well, we're happy that you did wake up early on a Saturday morning, and we are so excited that you both are here. We typically spend the first segment, we spend a few minutes getting to know our co-hosts, getting to know you guys a little bit, and it's a little bit of a different twist because now our listeners can even see you, not just hear you, but see you, and kind of feeling a little closer to you guys. And so that being said, let's get to know you guys, and then we'll talk about the show. But Danny, where are you from?
I'm actually from the Bay Area in California.
Okay.
I grew up there my entire life. My parents grew up there too. So,
What city?
do you know Los Altos Hills?
Yes.
Like right below Palo Alto and Stanford, I'm right there.
Wow, that's a pretty area.
Jimmy Garofalo was my neighbor for a bit.
Really?
Mhm.
Any stories of any trouble he got into or anything?
I wish he's like such like a gated a house like you couldn't really get to him.
Wow, so he didn't really need the money.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay. Wow, Jimmy G. All right. And what about you, Jorge? Where are you from?
I'm from El Paso, Texas.
El Paso.
Yeah,
Okay. Lifelong resident, pretty much. or-
pretty much. I lived in Corpus Christi for a year. I don't know if you've ever been down there, but
I've been in Corpus Christi.
not a lot going on down there.
Yeah.
And then San Diego for a year, and then another 3 years in Japan. So.
Well, yeah, because you were in the United States Navy.
Right.
So thank you for your service and a bit of a non-traditional route, but you are a graduate student and quite an adventure. What was your undergraduate in?
Multimedia journalism at the University of Texas El Paso. So go Miners.
Okay, and you also taught. You were a teacher.
I was a substitute teacher for a while. I did have a class, and then towards the end of my substituting career, I wasn't in a class, and I was just like bouncing around PE, doing different stuff. So yeah.
Okay, nice. And did you enjoy that
I learned a lot. I did enjoy it. It was probably one of the best jobs I ever had, honestly. You learn a lot from the students and the kids, and how everything works. It's funny. They go to learn, but you end up learning more from them.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Did you have anybody named Aaron in class?
No,
No.
no, that would have been funny though, or
Yeah.
be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you weren't quite that kind of a substitute. You
No.
weren't that intense.
Right.
All right. Well, we have to ask those questions. Danny, so getting back to the Bay Area, you grew up out there. You came to Phoenix right out of high school, or what was your path?
I went right out of high school. I actually didn't even know I wanted to be a sports journalist until I started touring colleges my junior year of high school. I went to TCU and they told me about sports journalism, and I was like, oh my god, that's so cool because I love sports. I've played about 15, maybe less than that, but I played 5 in high school, and I just knew I didn't want to end playing sports there. I even played on inaugural flag football team last year.
No way.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was super cool. I had a great time with those girls, and again, sports was my life. So, I had to end up somewhere in sports.
Nice. And why did you finally give it up?
Well, I actually wanted to play college softball, but sometimes the coaches don't end up they end up being the reason you stop playing, and I had that in high school.
Ain't that the truth? That and athletic directors.
Oh, let me tell you, my family's been dealing with athletic directors our entire lives. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. And so you're here now. You're studying. How do you like the program?
Honestly, I feel I didn't really take a huge deep dive into journalism, or at least Cronkite's and connections and networks that they have until my junior year. I feel like I kind of just put it off. But I was like, if I really want to do this, I gotta get my head in the game. It's never too late to start. So
yeah. And George, in your case, you left the Navy. I mean, did you complete your undergraduate while you were in, or what was your path?
No, it's very, like you said, untraditional, very meandering, winding. I was kind of a little bit of a screw up before I joined the Navy.
Yeah.
Bouncing around from job to job, retail stuff. I dropped out of college 3 times, actually.
Really?
Yeah. So when I finally left the Navy, I knew I had to finish my undergrad, and I set a goal. I went back in the spring of 2022. And then I set a goal I'm graduating in December 2024, and I finally ended up graduating with my undergrad there at UTEP. And I didn't really consider grad school until I realized how hard it was to get a job.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that I had missed, kind of like to Danny's point about networking, I was so focused on school and getting good grades and doing all that I didn't network. There were a lot of opportunities and mixers that I just skipped because I wanted to do homework.
Yeah.
And everybody that got hired in locally went to those events. And I was like, okay, yeah. So I pivoted to this. It ended up being the best decision of my life. I think ASU is a great school, probably the best journalism school in the country. So, yeah, I'm kind of cleaning up the networking stuff, but also learning a lot more about being a better journalist.
Well, you're having to sacrifice a lot financially even to be here. Not only does school cost money, but it costs money to live. And when you're used to making a living and all of a sudden you have to dive back in to being a student, there's a lot of things you have to give up. And this internship isn't making anybody rich either. So there's sacrifices there with your time that you're making. But do you feel like it's all worth it?
Absolutely. One of the things that they tell you in grad school that I had heard it once in the Navy. So they say move with a purpose. Here is do things with intent. And it's everything that you do, you could take something away from it, good or bad, and grow. So
in our final couple of minutes here of this segment, Danny, I want to ask you about this semester. What has been maybe some of your favorite parts of this semester working with us, or maybe some challenges? And you can be honest.
So actually, Vince knows this. I made a mistake my first week, and I literally, that's when you really realize that you have a time clock. You actually have to get things in super fast, or you have to do a quick turnaround. And you're very understanding, and I really appreciate that. And I was so scared. I was like, no way, I like messed up. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do now. But from there on, I was like, you know what? It only gets better from here. So in my opinion, I feel like I've definitely grown from the first week with working with varsity sports. And I'm kind of glad I did varsity sports because it's a lot tougher than I expected. Because I usually just gonna stick to one position, like preferably sideline reporting or field correspondent.
Yeah.
But like you were giving us these opportunities to try different positions like camera, play-by-play, color, and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's so important as a journalist, especially a multimedia journalist, to have all those things under your belt, especially when there's off season and you need like switch around to a different sport and stuff like that. So I think that's really important to be here at varsity.
George, what about you?
I've had a blast. Like Danny said, it's been a lot of work. My first game was being a field correspondent, and that was a little bit different. I covered high school in El Paso, but we're just in the booth. Yeah. And it's a radio call, so we just call in. And so the rest of the time, you're keeping score. But like field correspondents, I was on the field, pacing up and down the sideline the whole game. I was tired by the end of it. My knee hurt. And maybe that's more about my age than anything, but
come on.
My God, I had to get that in there.
Okay.
No, but it was so much fun. Like I walked away, like just interviewing the guys, interviewing the players, being there. Like you're really a part of the game, and I really fell in love with that. Challenges, I don't really think I have any. I think we got to find out a way to keep score though.
Real quick, talk about Viva Varsity.
Viva has been great. So last night was our second game in Tempe. And I think we made a huge leap from the first game. Like the first game was really figuring out how to come in and out. And then this last game was, we made a huge leap, Joshua and I. So I'm just super excited the season's barely started for Viva. So
yeah. For those of you guys that haven't heard, we have, and George and Josh have. Josh is a senior at Mountain View High School, very talented young man. You've worked with him a couple weeks now, and very engaging. He's very personable. He's got a future in this, as do you. But we started an all Spanish language game broadcast called Viva Varsity every week. Last night was week 2. We were out at Tempe High, hosting La Jolla. Tempe, big win. And so it's been interesting. It's been kind of cool, and the people that are tuning in are definitely in for a treat. We wanted to do something and do a little more outreach in the community, and it's been well received. Would you say?
I think so. Going over the numbers, 84 people last week. I haven't seen them this week, obviously. Yeah. That's surprising. I would have been happy with one. So nice. It's nice.
All right, we are going to send it to a couple of post-game reports. So let's take it away. Go, Corey.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show. My name is Spencer McIntyre from the University of Arizona. This past baseball game between Troy High School and 3-9.
So we're going to go to break, and what we'll do is when we come back, bring us back. We are going to start with our live recording. We will join us recapping Savaro and Chavez. So it's going to be quick. I'll kind of lead it off, and then that way you can see kind of the format, the feel of it, and then I'll start after this segment coming back. I'll turn it over to you guys. So maybe George, if you want to bring Carmen in. He's going to recap Rise and Sunny's World, and then you guys can kind of ping pong back and forth on questions. But again, keep in mind the time is only 3 minutes. She may have a pre-set report she wants to give, just kind of feel it out. Otherwise, just be ready to ask a couple questions for Rise and a good one last night.
Right.
And then we'll transition out. And in the transition, I may pitch it back to you guys. I'll pull it back, and I'll say, hey, what's coming up in the next segment, and you guys, one of you can jump in, and I'll direct it. One of you can jump in with what's happening.
What's your favorite varsity sports?
So,
I'm here with Coach Andy Linton with Mountain View High School.
Travis Shorman.
Joining us next week. I think you can learn a lot from the loss. As much as you don't want to, in the second half, that we can play. I thought last year, our kids
yeah, it's tough. It was a tough game last night. So
better playing against top talent.
I didn't even
We do feel like we can play with
Yeah.
everybody.
It's tough.
If we start the first half
That's why it
of
took
the
me
second
so
half
long
of
to
the,
get like my player interview because I had to wait to get the coach interview.
is the belief that you can win.
And by the
I
way,
believe
guys,
that our
just
guys
remember
believe that
we're
we
still
can win,
live
and so
on
we're going
the
to try
live
to get
stream.
momentum from the loss.
So, okay.
Even,
Is there any
even
players that
for
you
on
want to give a
you.
special
Right
shout out
now,
to?
we're
Some guys
live
are really
on
laying
the
it on
live
the line
stream.
tonight.
So everything you're
I think
saying
that
on
Tyler
our
Arnett
social
is one of the
media
best
is
players in
so,
this Arizona, and somebody needs to give him
remember,
an
it's
opportunity
good
to play
classes.
in college. He's really good. Zach Alves plays full way for us. He's one of my favorite kids on the team. He's a captain tonight. He's a tough kid. Parker Foster is the guy in the trenches who plays his tail off. Randy Curell inside is our team captain. Does all the little things, and he's a tough kid. So
Did Devin play yesterday for Brophy?
The top end,
He's not coming out on the stats.
offers that everybody else.
Who?
Devin Fitzgerald?
We have tough kids here that play the.
Maybe they just haven't updated his.
I'm just really proud of our team to keep battling.
Yeah, the coaches update the stats. Usually it takes a couple days.
Okay.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, he's not here.
All right, going straight to break. Hey, Corey, did we miss a segment? Oh, I got you. Okay, it was in a different order than I was thinking in my head. Never mind. Yeah. Okay.
KDUS, powered by HD Radio. Tune into your favorite shows and live games over on 100.7 KSRS HD Channel 2.
APAC is your one-stop source for all your automotive and heavy-duty air conditioning parts, supplies, and equipment. They're family-owned and have been the Valley's go-to for all your auto AC needs since 1982. Whether it's for your everyday or vintage car, commercial, or off-road vehicle or equipment, APAC has you covered. Call APAC, AA-PAK, the AC experts at 602-254-1116 and ask for the Varsity Special to get 10% off your purchase. Hey guys, Vince here to talk about Angel Dentistry. It's where my wife and I have gone for over 10 years, and we trust them with our routine and extensive dental care because they care. Dr. Amber Angel is an Arizona native, born in the town of Miami, and has been practicing in the Valley over 20 years. For general to comprehensive dental services, call 602-788-2008. Located off of Cave Creek Road just north of the 101 in North Phoenix. Angel Dentistry, proud supporters of our young people and proud partners of the Varsity Sports Show.
Hello, Varsity Sports Show family. I'm Tommaso Perez from ASU. Join me as I bring you inspiring sports stories and updates from our Catholic schools, where faith, tradition, and athletics come together. Catch me live on KDUS 1060 AM Saturdays from 9 to 11 and during Varsity Sports Show game broadcast.
And everything happening on and off the field. This is Viva Varsity, where the game comes alive and you're like,
More of your favorite KDUS 1060 content is over on our socials. Search KDUS AM 1060 on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok.
And we're live. Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. Vince DeLizio in studio with Danny McDermott and Jorge Guajardo. Joining us on the line from big game on Thursday night, giving us a recap. I had a chance to go out to back into Phoenix Union into my old stomping grounds at Cesar Chavez High School. And Ethan Troll was on the call for the Saguaro Chavez game. Ethan.
Hey, guys. Thank you again for having me on. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Happy to have you. Ethan, give us a little recap of the other night. Quite a game and a real turning point in Saguaro's young season.
Absolutely. And they're looking to bounce back and hopefully have a better season than last year, which was only one game. And now they're already having a better start, and they entered this matchup with Cesar Chavez coming into made a big statement. And honestly, they didn't have to do as much as they would hope for. And we were expecting it to be a close game, but once the first quarter was over, they put the pedal to the metal and they just pounded the rock. They gave their ball to their running backs a lot, and it resulted in 4 rushing touchdowns on the game. And quarterback Marcel Jones didn't do a whole lot either. He went 16 and 22 for 138 yards and touchdown and didn't make any mistakes. So overall, it was basically just start to finish. They played clean and good ball, and as the receiver got it, they ran into a lot of mistakes and just couldn't really get the pressure on when it came to defense and creating those running gaps for their line. So this is wild. This is a huge win for them, and they have a hard schedule coming up.
Hey, Ethan, it's Jorge here. I have a question about Marcel Jones. He, like you said, he had a really nice game. He didn't have to do a whole lot, but completed almost 73% of his passes and averaged 11 yards a pass. I mean, what did you see from him particularly that drove this Saguaro offense?
Honestly, he made some really good decisions. He read down the field first, but 2 minutes on Ethan. Makes sense of where the edge rushers were coming from, and once they got close to him, he took off. Excuse me. He had 6 carries for 76 yards, but he took off a lot. He also had 2. He had 2 of the 4 rushing touchdowns, so he was very versatile. And there was a throw that he made for the back of the end zone. I believe it was for. I'm trying to remember the receiver's name, but I believe Quinn Sims. He threw a back corner end zone shot at him when he had a clean pocket, and it was one of the best throws that I've seen from him all season long. And if he can keep playing like that, this Saguaro team is going to start getting better and better on the offensive side of the ball.
So you said this name, by the way, Ethan, but you say that QB Marcel Jones did a great job. So was he a player of the game, or did you guys have? Because it sounds like Saguaro did a really great job. Were there other players you guys were looking at? But who was your player of the game?
Obviously, if I had to give out players of the game, I mean, the 2 players that stood out were Marcel Jones to score some touchdowns, but also to running back Nikolai Rubio, who had 3 total touchdowns. He had 2 rushing touchdowns and a receiving touchdown as well. They both got the ball so much, and they made a lot of really good plays. I would have to give it to both of them because they both took over on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, he had 142 rushing yards. I saw on Max Preps for Procopio.
Awesome. All right, guys, we're going to transition. Nice job on that, Ethan. Great job on the call the other night. And yeah, onward and upward, my friend. Good job on your play-by-play debut. Saguaro at Chavez, Saguaro now 2-2. Thanks, Ethan.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Take it away, Corey.
Arizona football league.
All right,
And this starts with the
so we had a
2025
2-minute warning
season. Very
when he
special.
was asking his question. And remember, 1 question, and then let him answer, and then we transition. All right,
Head
so
coach
Just one
Rick
question.
Quinn returns for his second season after a tough 2024 season.
and so the idea is, number 1, there's plenty of time to talk. But also, we're up against our break, and that stuff kind of sets us back. So we're 2 minutes behind now, so we'll have to make the time. So again, let's just stay with the protocol going.
When you say ping pong, just not the same person. It's a different person. When you
What's
say
that?
ping pong, is it the same?
Yeah. So you ask a question, then they'll answer, then I'll ask a question, they'll answer, and Jordan asks a question, and so
Is it the same person, or just each person that comes on the air?
So we have a guest, and the guest in this case is Ethan. So Ethan is the subject content matter expert. So we're asking him stuff, we're talking to him, and he's answering us. So, and each of us are taking turns kind of going around the table and talking to him. So, yeah. So we're good. So the first one, so now we're going to do it with Carmen.
This is
And I'm bringing her in.
Correct.
Got it.
Hi, I'm Ryan Gaylor with the Varsity Sports Show. The MLB playoffs are right around the corner, and with less than 2 weeks left in the regular season, the Arizona Diamondbacks are fighting to make it in. With 10 games remaining on the Diamondbacks schedule, they are only 1.5 games back from the final wildcard spot in the National League. Arizona has won 4 out of their last 5 games and hopes to keep the momentum going in their series finale against the San Francisco Giants at Chase Field. They play 2 more series at home that includes a 3-game series against the Philadelphia Phillies this weekend from September 19th to September 21st, and another 3-game series against the Los Angeles Dodgers on September 23rd to September 25th, and against the San Diego Padres at Petco Park for a 3-game series from September 26th to September 28th to close out the regular season. The Phillies, Dodgers, and Padres are all playoff teams, so the D-backs will have to come ready to play like they have been lately. If Arizona does get into the playoffs, it will be as a wild card, but that will go well for them in 2023 as they advance all the way to the World Series as a wild card team that year. Time will tell to see how it plays out for the Diamondbacks, but one thing they can control is keep on winning games.
This is Reggie Ray with the Varsity Sports Show, and this is the Champions League Roundup, where I will fill you in on some of the games that you may have missed. Starting with Tuesday, we were to some very entertaining games, especially from Juventus and Borussia Dortmund, which ended 4-4. It was like watching an accurate game of Battleship, constant hit after hit. Do you want to hear something crazier? Both managers of these teams, Steve Tudor and Niko Kovac, played each other 25 times. That game also ended 4-4, with both managers scoring in that tie. We also had a huge upset on match day 1 as Azerbaijani side Karabakh came from 2 goals down to beat Portuguese Giants in Benfica 3-2, securing their first ever win in Champions League history. 10 men Real Madrid were able to see out Marseille after Kylian Mbappe scored 2 goals from the penalty spot for the 2-1 win. Tim Webb made history as he became the first American player to ever score at the St. Petersburg Bernabeu. Moving on to Wednesday, as defending UCL champions, PSG cruised to a 4-0 victory over Italian side Atalanta. There were 4 different goal scorers in that game, just like there was in their fighting efforts of Inter Milan in last season's final. Over at Anfield, a last-minute winner from Dutch captain Virgil van Dijk saw Liverpool get past Liverpool Madrid 2-2. And after a 2-year exile from the competition, as the rest of the Chelsea were hoping to get out to the winning start, trying to won the 2012 edition. However, an own goal from the brace with English striker Harry Kane scored those fans, leading them into a 4-1 defeat. If this is how match day 1 was, I can only imagine how the other 7 are going to go. I'm ready.
And July.
Hey, welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show on 1060 KDUS Arizona. I'm Jorge Guajardo, joined by Vince D'Alicio and Danny McDormand. We're going to bring you Carmen Liberto, who was covering the Horizon and Sunny Slope game. Carmen, what was your biggest takeaway from the battle of 2 3-0 teams there last night?
It was a really interesting game. I mean, in the beginning, it started off pretty slow just because these teams are coming into it with a 3-0 record, like you said. And it's kind of a battle of the defenses, and the defense was really just kind of let up starters. The end, our team was the one to kind of come out with the win. And it was just, my takeaway from the game was like, you know, even though you have a really strong defense, eventually it seems once there's a score up on the scoreboard, that someone's going to get up on your team.
Do you think that it was the offense could have done more, or what did you want to get, Carmen?
So, in my opinion, I think Sunny Slope definitely kind of their strong defense go. In the first quarter was 0-0, and the game really went well on. Horizon kind of got, you know, a touchdown, and then they got a couple of interceptions, and it was very interesting to see kind of a little bit of Sunny Slope getting out, and a little bit from the quarterback, but again, he took quite a couple of big hits that there was on there.
Carmen, one last quick question here. Who was your player of the game? Who stood out to you for the Horizon Huskies?
For me, this might be a little bit of a hot take. I think the kicker, Palmer Pagika, was my personal player of the game. He made all 4 of his kicks. He made get the job done, and he's now actually 19 for 19 kicks this season, which I think is amazing.
Awesome. Carmen, thanks so much for joining us. And yeah, nice job last night. Great win for Coach Tyson Didmore. We'll have Coach Didmore on at 10:30, so stick around, guys. You don't want to miss that. Hey, what's coming up after the break, Dan?
We have Angry Crab Shack and not Angry Crab Shack. That's just our.
This is the commercial.
Ooh, I'm excited for it. I was looking at it yesterday.
I like Angry Crab Shack. Dave Kaiser, our buddy manager over there, the GM. A nice shameless plug, but Dave is very supportive. But after that, though, who do we have joining us?
We have Travis Sherman. I actually had an interview with him yesterday, so I'm really excited to see him come on the show.
Okay. Guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be back after the break. Go Varsity. All right. Okay, good job. So Mark Lou is a commercial. So when you get a 2-minute warning, it's okay to end it early, but we don't know how long the next answer potentially could be, and then we got to cut them off. And then
Got it.
Luckily, she didn't go over that time. But yeah, so whoever starts the interview then ends it. So when we come back from the break, let's do this. Danny, you want to bring us back?
Can I just say I'm Jamie McDermott from Phoenix, Arizona. Joined with me today. Vince Alicia.
Yeah, so welcome back. It was Varsity.
Come ready to eat.
Hi everyone, my name is Heaven Cook. I'm a senior at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communications, studying sports journalism. I've always been passionate about sports and storytelling in sports, and I'm super excited to spend the semester of fall 2025 with Varsity Sports Show, being knowledge and also contributing my knowledge to the viewers covering high school sports.
And then ask your first question.
Hey listeners, it's Vince Alicia from the Varsity Sports Show.
And
We are proud to continue our 5
And you guys want to, so you got watch the clock. Remember, when you get a 2-minute warning, wherever we are, you let them finish answering or finish asking your question, let them answer. As soon as that's done, then we'll end it. Reintroduce him. Thank you for coming on. You know, first name, last name, where he's from, and then we'll transition to Corey and the Tomas Perez schools of the board.
Can I talk about, can I say, like, with the absence of Tate Reynolds, can I talk about that or no?
I'd focus on what they did well last night, and you know, obviously, and they're growing. There's some growing pains going on, and they played the defending state champion in 6A. So,
Then if I don't talk about that, can I just like talk about like how he like expects the season to go with Coach Hales as the QB? Hi, I'm Jamie McDermott, joined here today by Vince Alicia and Jorge. Jorge, can you pronounce that? Guajardo, sorry. I need to work on my Spanish. And we're welcoming you guys back to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. And joining us today on the line is Queen Creek football head coach Travis Sherman. Coach Sherman, I just want to ask you, from last night, was this season what you were expecting with Sawyer Hales? Like he's taking the reins on offense. Was this what you were expecting from last night as well, and the previous couple games as well?
Yeah, I mean, I thought Sawyer handled well. You know, first game for him as a sophomore. He's only going to get better. The way we feel about Sawyer doesn't change after, you know, the loss last night. We're proud of him, and by the way, he did battle last night.
Coach Jorge here. Obviously a tough loss last night, and now you go into this next week facing Basha. I mean, what are some of the positives from this last game that you're going to want to take into this week facing the Basha Bears?
You know, I mean, I thought our kids competed and battled all night. You know, the score got a little bit worse at the end, but it was really 14-7 game late into the game. And we had opportunities, we didn't take opportunities. So, you know, we need to get back to the basics this week and see, you know, how we can compete with Basha.
Are you guys looking towards Bear Fisher for this game against Basha?
You know, we haven't really game planned yet, so but it's going to take more than one kid, right? We need multiple kids to compete and just to carry their weight. that'll be the message this week. It'll be a team effort.
Right, Coach. And on that note, a team effort. What exactly? I know you said you haven't game plan, but what are your ideas right now about game planning for this team going into this next week?
I have not watched one bit of film about it, so I have no idea what our game plan will be. I know that we should work on executing and doing little things right. Obviously, they're a great opponent. By far the best team that we've played so far this year. So we have our hands full. We're just honored that we get to go play against them.
And because like they're top one in Arizona and top 25 in the United States, what is your outlook on this game for next Friday?
Yeah, like I said, we're excited to go and compete against such a high quality opponent. Coach McDonald and his staff, they do a phenomenal job, and a lot of respect for him and the way he coaches and the way he does things and gets ready to play. So we have our hands full, but we'll get on the bus, and we'll be there on Friday night at 7 o'clock.
Coach Jorge here again. You have two 100-yard rushers and frankly, a lot of guys that get carries in your offense. Can you talk a little bit about the dynamic, like your running game and what it brings every single week?
I think you have to have a good rushing attack to be a successful offense. Playing a physical type of football, and you can't run the ball, and you're not a physical football team. And so it's just a need to see other kids step up. We get a better job of that, but kids have done a good job of taking their opportunities when they do.
And so now, like focusing on defense, what is your plan? I know, again, you talked with Jorge about like you haven't decided what you're really going to do yet and like looked at game stuff. But what would you do for defense just to shut down Bash's offense?
I don't really shut down an offense like that, right? It's how you slow them down and then you stop to make plays when you have the opportunity to make plays. They have really two dynamic running backs, but their offensive line is big and physical, and they have a quarterback who chucks all over the place. So they check all the boxes. It's not something you can load a box and try to stop the run or just play half. And so they're very, very balanced, like I said, very, very well coached team. So we're gonna have to play the way we're capable of and play 4 quarters.
Coach Jorge, again, real quick on the defensive note, and I want to get your insight on this. When players play both ways, is there an idea to conserve them? I know, like, for instance, Jeremy Lyles, he plays both ways. He's 6th on your team in tackles with 11 this year, but he also plays receiver. He's got 4 touchdowns, right? Is there a balance there when you have to manage that?
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that is probably unique to Quick Creek. We have a lot of kids who play both ways. We're a school of between 18 to 2,000 kids. And we're in school this week that 4,000 kids, right? So we don't have the numbers like everyone else. We'll draft 60 kids, or I'll have close to 100. But I think it's just a testament of what kind of kids we have. They're tough, hard-nosed kids who aren't afraid to battle and play hard for quarters.
All right, thank you so much, Coach Sherman, and for joining us today. I'd like to send it to Corey now, Catholic Schools Report from Tomesa Perez.
I'm Tomas Perez, bringing you the latest on Catholic high school sports. Tonight we turn to St. Mary's, where the Knights are showing how faith and athletics go hand in hand. Let's look at how sports fit with the school's vision and the significant role faith leaders play on and off the field. At St. Mary's, athletics aren't just about wins and losses. They're seen as an extension of the school's Catholic mission. The coach says sports help form young men and women in faith as much as the competition. A big part of that comes from the presence of faith leaders. Sisters and fathers of our games, and their support reminds students that they're a part of a much larger faith community. Unlike the public school setting, here at St. Mary's, coaches in athletics can openly integrate prayer and reflection into everything we do, from mass on game days to pregame dinners with mom soda and post-practice prayers. For this team, seeing their priests, deacons, and sisters in the stands make it clear faith, family, and community are always on their side. Reporting the Varsity Sports Show optimistic for us on their side. Reporting.
What's up, everybody? My name is Varsity Sports Show. And today, we're talking about some Cardinals. During the Arizona Cardinals' most recent against the Carolina Panthers this past weekend, the Panthers drive and a chance to win the game. It was longtime NFL veteran Calais Campbell who set the game for the Cardinals with a fourth down sack by Carolina quarterback Bryce Young. Calais Campbell was drafted in 2008 by the Arizona Cardinals with the 50th overall pick out of the University of Miami, making an instant impact with the team, helping them make the Super Bowl his rookie year. With his massive frame, to go along with his extremely humble and humane demeanor, Campbell quickly became a fan favorite with the best of faithful. His consistent dominance in the trenches earned 2 Pro Bowls and 2 All-Pro selections in his first 9 years in the league. He then went on to spend the next 8 years with 4 different teams across the league before finally returning to the Cardinals this past offseason. And in his first game back in front of the Red Sea since 2016, Calais played hero and secured the W for the Cardinals, moving them to 2-0 on the OC. He spoke about what it meant to play in front of the home crowd once again in post-game.
It's been a times for the city was hungry. And we fixed and just come down to the field, went to town, and it's been a hitting those. You got to say this, see what that's on that's what we did. And that was something I feel good. I feel the love, that was awesome. And then I feel like so Percy, I love that.
For the Varsity Show, I'm Antonio Medios.
University of Wyoming women's volleyball star Sarah Holcomb is not only a beast on the court, but also forced to be reckoned with in the turf arena and competitive horseback riding. In just 8 games this season, Sarah has already wrapped with impressive 66 kills and 28 service points. While the Cowboys have a challenging start at 3-5, Sarah's really work ethic and leadership clear standouts. Her performance shows that grit and tenacity is useful naturally for her. She's been developing since her early days in Texas. Before she was playing balls and dominating the net, Sarah was sent young. Raised in a small Texas town just north of Dallas, she spent much of her time at a freshman farm, where she trained and competed and practiced tirelessly in horseback riding. Mainly competing anymore, she developed a strong foundation in balance, strength, and focus, skills that are refined in horseback riding, and translated seamlessly into the volleyball court. Her mid-size sport background sets her apart. Few athletes can claim proficiency in just a high-level team sport, let alone individual.
Antonio's all set. You guys will have about 15 seconds.
Time this out for coordination, mental discipline, and competitive edge. Qualities that help you for success on the volleyball court. With her unique combination of indoor power and outdoor poise, Sarah Holcomb proves that she's not just a one-sport athlete, she's a true competitor and athlete in every sense of the word. Grinding was the industry made her truly destined to be a cowgirl in my
You are live.
Welcome back to 1060 KDUS Arizona, The Deuce. I am Jorge Almajardo. I am joined in studio by Vince Delicio and Danny McDermott. We have on the line Antonio Gutierrez. Antonio, we just heard from you in your Cardinals recap. Great job. Great to have you here. We're going to talk about trophy prep here. Jack Scully is my first question. What a game. 18 of 27, 283 yards, 4 touchdowns, averaged almost 16 yards of completion. What did you see from him last night?
Yeah, Jack Scully was a sophomore quarterback for Hamilton. I mean, he was just dynamic. He was using his legs the whole game, and then he was finding his big wide receiver number 3 right all over the third. And a 4-star, I mean, he had 4 touchdowns last night, 3 receiving, and he had a punt return. So he has basically 14 touchdowns on the 8 through 4 weeks. I mean, that's just insane for anybody who's a sophomore. But Jack Scully was doing everything right. He was calm under pressure and just delivering the ball where he needed to go.
All right, Antonio, this is Danny. I just want to ask you, so during the game, you were there, I know Hamilton was up the entire time. Did you ever think that at one point there was a turning point where Brophy could have taken it to the next level, taken it a step where they would have had a lead at all?
Yeah, I mean, the game started off very, very two sides, I guess you could say. After the first quarter, Berkeley was actually up 10-6, and they were playing well on offense. They scored on the first two drives, but the Hamilton offense just really showed out in the second quarter. I mean, in the second quarter, they scored 36 unanswered points, and it was 43 at halftime. So, I mean, that just was such a quick momentum shift that Berkeley kind of got caught on their heels maybe a little bit, but they were ahead in the beginning, and they got back to that offense for sure later in the second half. They put up 33 points on a great Hamilton defense that had not given up 20 all year. So that's definitely something for Berkeley to take away. They put up some good offense.
Hey, Antonio, Jorge again. So Brophy's at a minus 29 point differential so far this year. Is there something going on with their defense that you see that they can improve on so they can clean this up?
Yeah, I mean, their defense has played pretty well. So, I mean, they played pretty well through the first three games, but, I mean, they gave up 70 points last night to a great Hamilton offense. I mean, that will change their point differential a little bit, but last night the problem for them was it was pretty hard for them to stop the run. Hamilton's offensive line, their offensive linemen were just setting the perfect line at the trenches, and the running back, Jacob Brown, he had 3 touchdowns rushing for Hamilton. So, I mean, at the line of scrimmage, they were just dominating. But the secondary was great for both. They had an interception, they had a couple pass breakups, and they came away all over it pretty well.
That was Antonio Gutierrez. Antonio, thanks for joining us and giving us that great recap of Brophy versus Hamilton. We're going to send it to break. When we come back from the break, Danny, what do we have coming up besides commercials?
We have Darius Kelly with Saguaro SaberCats football.
All right, Coach Darius Kelly for Saguaro, big win the other night. Thanks for joining us here on the Varsity Sports Show. We'll be right back. Go Varsity.
Sorry, I missed it. My chat wasn't loading. I couldn't see it roll down.
I'm having some good questions.
KDUS 1060 app. While you listen, download, log in.
I wanted to ask about Fitzgerald, but I didn't even get the chance.
No, we literally brought up defense, and I literally have on my talking points talk about their defense.
You are listening to Arizona's home of youth, high school, college, and you. Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060, KDUS, Arizona.
The Varsity Sports Show is proud to continue our partnership with the Campus of Champions, Mountain View High School. Tune in for championship caliber competition, boys and girls sports, featured on the Varsity Sports Show. Amazing kids, amazing parents, amazing coaches, and amazing faculty. Also home of the world famous Mike and Joe Show. It's the Mountain View Toros on the Varsity Sports Show. Hey guys, here to talk about answer. It's where my wife is. You guys. So remember, watch the clock and it's moving. So we got to jump right in. Dead air is our biggest enemy. So let's fight the enemy. Yes, feel good. All right. It's going to go quick. Yeah.
Coach Kelly yet, he has not responded.
Okay.
What do you want to talk about?
Round partners of the Varsity Sports.
We could talk about
That they're kind of turning it around on their season, right? They're 2-2. Huge win this last game, right?
And they're playing Highland next, who is 0-4.
So a chance
They
to
lost last night.
get over 500.
Exactly. So I'm just gonna ask him, like, what are your players working on this week?
Look for live updates and all the KDUS content you love on our socials. Just search KDUS AM 1060 on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok.
And you guys are live.
I'm Danny McDermott from Phoenix, Arizona with Varsity Sports with AM 1060 KDUS. In the studio, I'm with Vince and I'm with Hartville. I got it right this time.
Good, nice. Nice job. A little roller.
And while we're waiting for Coach Kelly to join us here, he's probably still out celebrating happy win. Either that or he's probably running the team right now on the field and getting their conditioning on. But great win the other night for Saguaro. It was so gratifying to be able to see things get back on track, particularly the leadership amongst the team, within the team, and how they kept their composure and really started off a little slow, but kept grinding. Big play here, big play there, little play here, little play there, and before you know it, final score 45-7 over Chavez in a visiting effort. So anyway. Guys, big games from last night. Do you guys have any favorites? Obviously, George, you were out at Tempe, and it was nice to see Tempe score some points, particularly toward the end of the game.
Yeah, both offenses, it's been a struggle, right? And Tempe had a really tough game up in Flagstaff the week before, 48-12 loss there. So the game started off really, the first quarter score was 0-0.
Yeah.
So they moved in, and right before the half, La Jolla got on the board, and that kind of like just awoke Tempe's offense. They ended up with 25 points, dominated the second half, ended up scoring 18 points in that second half. So, yeah, it was good to see them score some points and get a win there.
And Danny, obviously, you were out at Queen Creek. Queen Creek suffered a pretty tough loss there to Centennial, but maybe it was a wake-up call in hosting the defending state champions, 6A.
No, because I was at the game actually the week prior.
Oh.
And so I was there for both weekends, and I just watching the team go from last weekend to this weekend, it definitely was a different mindset. And I know when I talked to the coach this week, and when I was there as camera 2 for last week, I just know that the coach was expecting a different outcome for this week and a different outcome for last week. It just, as players get through the year, sometimes it's a slow start, but then you work your way up. And so hopefully they get that way towards Basha this week.
Awesome. Well, we're going to continue on and work through the show here as we've got some reporting from our talented team, starting with Ethan Thomas, who's going to give us a little news on Perdomo. Go ahead, Corey.
Imagine being one of the baller to start your Major League Baseball career. 100 times, added 5 points below the Mendoza line, 200.
I really wanted to ask Coach about his running backs.
As you're just trying to get
Saguaro.
that was like
They're averaging 7 yards a carry, the whole team. That's crazy.
The whole team or each
player? Yeah, the whole team is averaging 7. Everybody that's on the carry this year, it averages 7 yards a carry.
Oh, I thought you were saying like it was in total 7 yards.
No, a carry.
Oh my gosh.
So like that's crazy.
Batting average, on base percentage.
No, I was like, that's excessive. Like,
25-year-old is playing his best ball this year.
I'm more of a baseball person.
What's that?
I'm a baseball person.
Oh, okay. Are you a Giants fan?
Oh, kind of. Are you?
I like the Yankees.
Say at least you're not Astros.
I hate that.
He's also stepped up as a leader.
Giants, Warriors, Niners.
Okay. Oh, Niners.
Themselves back into wild card contention. He's taught that he's become a huge fan favorite among Diamondback kids.
That's a gift. You know, give from God. I feel no person. My blood is like frog. You know what I'm
I love it.
That's my blood, yeah. Please go.
You guys will need the Frogman to continue to play at Frog. He has been in order to stay the last wild spot for the New York Mets, which has this Wednesday.
Or am I taking a trip for Arbor this week?
I'll probably. You did that last week.
Yeah.
Bring it right in.
Let's go to Kelly.
To start it off, I'll talk about your
Kelly. Oh. Kelly.
Okay. I'll let tomorrow know if we don't right now. Well, the Saints League. Do you want tomorrow to come back? After Senate League, he's having starting. I personally picked him up in every single league I have. Next, I want to talk about Los Angeles Chargers receiver Quentin Johnston. I know you think about Quentin Johnston, you think about the drops that he had last year, but this year that has not been a problem. His target share is pretty equal on a loaded wide receiver room, and he's gotten in the end zone 3 times. That alone should be enough for him to show you that he should be starting on your team. The last guy that I think you should really go for is Corey Krosky, man. You guys are allowed in 1 minute, and again, Coach Kelly is ready. Senate Leagues have started.
He's going to be the workhorse in Washington. He's going to be the already one of us. And after their injury, I think he's going to take a massive leap in production over the next coming weeks. For the guys that I think we should stay away from, first thing I will talk about are Ramondre Stevenson. He had an amazing week last week. His receiving upside is definitely there. But I just don't think that he's going to be consistent enough to hold down the RB1 spot in New England. We saw him struggle with that last year. I definitely think we should stay away from Ramondre Stevenson. And lastly, I think you have to stay away from Michael Pittman. He's now the clear-cut wide receiver one in Indianapolis. He's going to be shadowed by every team's number one corner. He had a great week, and week 1, 8 targets, 6 catches, but I don't think he can put that up consistently enough for you to drop somebody on your roster at him. My name is Devin Blankenship, and thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show.
Welcome back, guys. AM 1060 KDUS, Arizona, the Deuce. Jorge Almojardo here with Vince D'Alicio and Danny McDermott. Joining us is Saguaro head coach Darius Kelly. Coach Kelly, huge win last night, but I want to talk about your run game. Are you aware that your team is averaging 6.9 yards a carry? Could you get into why your rushing attack is so effective?
Yeah, I mean, our O-line is doing an amazing job. I mean, our run game coordinator, Coach Bush, John Cross, our O-line coach, Coach Sean, who came on board with this, and Coach Mazzoni and the kids. I mean, they're buying into what we're trying to do here. They're buying into everything that we're doing up front. And, I mean, they're just getting the job done. They come to work every day. I mean, that front 5 bars, the old line, I mean, they show up 20 minutes before anybody shows up on campus. They're the first ones there every day. And obviously, in the backfield, I mean, the right back, and then we have multiple guys in the backfield. The past 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Oh, sorry, Kelly. I don't mean to interrupt you.
Coach, as you look ahead, as you're prepping for next week, obviously it was definitely a great to see the team in form. What's your expectation and how's practice this morning? Coach, you there? Oh, okay. The question I asked you was, now that the team is back in full form based on their performance Thursday night, the expectation moving forward, and how are you planning on prepping for this coming week?
Coach Kelly, thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck the rest of the season, and congrats on your big win Thursday night. We're moving now to Marla Mundo, who is going to give us, do we have Marla?
No, we're actually going to send it to commercial, and then we'll come back. We had to kind of rearrange a couple of things, but coming up after the break will be hour number 2. Guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be back with Brophy head football coach Jason Jewell here on the Varsity Sports Show. And if you guys have any questions, put them in the chat. All right, guys, we'll be back for hour number 2. Okay, let's find some time for Marla.
Looking to get out of the season from your coach, and what are you going to use from last night's game to prepare for Red Mountain, who's also 4-0?
Coach Jorge here. Your quarterback, Case Vanden Bosch, senior, he's had a really nice start to the season, completing 65% of his passes, averaging almost 10 yards of completion there. Could you talk a little bit about his mindset and how you guys communicate, throughout the game to kind of lead to this success on the field? Wow.
This is Danny again, just bouncing off of Jorge. I just want to ask, staying with the offense, what is the connection between Case and Devin Fitzgerald? Like, how do you see them what is their dynamic on the field?
Coach, okay, again, I know your defense had a tough game last night, but overall throughout the season has been really solid. 10 sacks, a number of turnovers. Can you just talk about the impact that your defense makes game in and game out?
All right. Thank you so much, Coach Jason Jewell, for joining us today live. And now we're going to go to, I believe we're going to commercial. No, we're going to, I believe, Evan Cook, Paradise Valley Flagstaff Recap.
Okay, what happened there?
Me?
Yeah.
I literally thought I had the thing up, and then I had to switch it over to the master copy because I had it on the Brophy stats. That's
Okay.
on me.
All right.
That is so on me.
Okay, so we have 3 minutes and 11 seconds, and then we'll bring on Heaven. George, you want to bring her on?
I'll bring her on.
Awesome. Okay. And then you'll take us to break. So just literally clean break when, and send it to break. So
Got it.
And if you want to preview the next segment, definitely do that as well.
Do you want to just do one question, or do you still want to do two questions?
Whatever time allows, because we don't know if she'll have a lot to say, or if it'll be a little quicker to where we kind of have to take up the slack on our end. So Heaven's usually pretty good about filling, providing a lot of detail, but just to be ready.
Got it.
So
I apologize again for.
No, that's fine. We we got to watch the grid and kind of try. And I know we've had to adjust a few things, but we introduced Heaven, and we have Adam's voice.
I know, I felt so bad.
It's all right. All right. We'll get it. We're getting it.
It's on the upcome or come up.
Hey, Corey, any chance you can give us audio back in the studio? I was able to control our speaker in here.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS The Deuce. I'm Jorge Guajardo, joined in studio with Vince Delicio and Danny McDermott. We have, Heaven Cook on the line. Heaven, huge win for Paradise Valley last night. I want to talk about the quarterback, Arush Behera here. 21 of 26, 344 yards, 81% completion percentage, and average 16 yards of completion. What was he was slinging it around out there? What was going on with him? Whew. Wow. Wow.
I don't have audio.
So, Evan, I just want to ask you, bouncing off what you just said, because I'm looking at the score here, and the first half, Paradise Valley really hammered right into it. What did you see on the offense for Paradise Valley besides Gonzalez? What else were you seeing when you were out there?
Heaven, Jorge here again. Yeah, talking about the offense for Paradise Valley, but I want to talk about the defense. They pitched a shutout in the second half. You talked about Flagstaff, who had a big win against Tempe last week, scoring 48 points against them. What did you see in that second half from Flagstaff offense that they just couldn't keep up and have answers there? Awesome. Evan Cook, thank you so much for that Paradise Valley Flagstaff recap. We are going to break here, so we will be back in a couple of minutes. Stay with us on AM 1060 KDUS.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe, with an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat. Hey guys, Vince here to talk about Angel Dentistry. It's where my wife and I have gone for over 10 years, and we trust them with our routine and extensive dental care because they care. Dr. Amber Angel is an Arizona native, born in the town of Miami, and has been practicing in the Valley over 20 years. For general to comprehensive dental services, call 602-788-2008. Located off of Cave Creek Road just north of the 101 in North Phoenix. Angel Dentistry, proud supporters of our young people and proud partners of the Varsity Sports Show.
All right, guys, we are back to spotlight another sport here with GCU Club and, of course, our amazing partnership with the Grand Canyon University Club Sports Program. 45 sports under that umbrella, and we're going to feature quite a few throughout the year, and some great coaches, and some coaches with some interesting stories to tell. And today is not going to disappoint. We are joined by brand new but not necessarily brand new to the program. Brand new women's club soccer head coach Alex Martins. Coach Martins comes to us through the program. He was a former player, played under men's coach Damian Toulay, went back, assisted him briefly, and then assisted with the women's program, and now has been handed the reins full time. And what's great about it is that he just graduated from GCU. So you talk about being able to relate to your team. He is GCU through and through. So Coach Alex Martins. Coach Martins, thanks for joining us here on the program.
Thank you so much for having me. I can't wait.
You know, Coach, it's been an interesting path for you because you were in the program as a player for, 2-3 years. What was that experience like?
It was definitely interesting because I didn't know what the club sports kind of looked like at the university level. I played club soccer growing up through, elementary school, middle school, high school, as so many soccer athletes do in the U.S. But I played 2 years at community college and then kind of found my way to GCU, and club was the option that I wanted to pursue, but I didn't know exactly what that looked like. Like you said, I played a 1.5 year club at Grand Canyon. And the first year was very different to the second, and then the second is very different from what it is now. And I can say that the changes to make those differences have been in a positive way, definitely. But that's kind of how I found myself here, right? So it's been great. I could have never expected that when I stepped on campus at GCU for the first time that I would have found myself here 2.5 years later. But it's been a blessing through and through.
Now, you have had the benefit of being able to even assist both programs, both men's and women's programs. What would you say was the difference in being an assistant coach with the men's team as well as the women's team, and then maybe some similarities?
Well, I mean, the similarities are clear. On the club side, obviously, you get the best of both worlds, if you want to look at it that way, of it's still competitive. You train 2, 3, 4 times per week. You have 2 gym sessions for men's and women's program. But you're not quite at the same level of NCAA where it's, you're committing several hours, 5, 6, 7 days a week, and it takes over your whole life. So those are some of the similarities. But at the same time, both athletes on the men's and women's side want the same things. They want that competitive side to push each other and grow and become better players. But at the same time, just enjoy the sport, enjoy experience, build new strong relationships with their teammates, enjoy the travel trips, right? So both programs are very similar in that way where it's, yes, we're pushing each other every single day at training. We want to try to win games and go to regionals and national tournaments, but that's not the end-all be-all at GCU.
Let's talk a little bit about your opponent today. You're very familiar with them this early in the season because you opened the season with them just last week with a come-from-behind victory, and that's we're speaking about the ASU women's team that you faced last week. You came from behind to win that one 2-1. Tell us some teachable moments that came out of that game and what you're expecting from them tonight.
Yeah, so tonight's a big game. Obviously, last week was our season opener, their season opener at ASU. We went into the half down 1-0, but I would argue, and I could probably prove, that we had the majority of the chances, majority of the possession. Well, possession doesn't win games. We had a lot of the momentum in that first half. Nevertheless, we didn't score those goals. So we came into the half 1-0 down, and the players showed real belief, and that was one of the things that I preached on at halftime. And then none of the credit goes to me. It's all on them because they all took that and believed in it. And that was just the notion that every single
and Joshua's all set for you.
Or that's fine. The next one might go in. Every single time the ASU has the ball, that's fine because if we win the ball, this could be our chance to go score and tie it. And then after that, this could be the chance
Who wants to bring us back?
And win it.
Okay.
So they kept that mentality and that
right.
fight each and every play
George
in
will
that
have
second half. That it was awesome to watch because we went in 1-0 down. Could be demoralizing when you see yourself as the better team and you come in at the break losing. But it didn't let them affect that at all. And especially after only one training session fully as a team, season opener, it's super encouraging.
You guys are live in 1 minute.
Right. Obviously, we're playing ASU Gold, very, very strong opponent. Obviously, I wasn't the coach of the program last year, but I believe they met 3 times and ASU won all 3 last year. So we want a little bit of revenge. Nothing but respect, of course, but nothing better than getting one over your rival. So we're going to come in with that same mentality of we're going to push and fight and win our individual battles, but have the belief that even if we go 1-0, 2-0, whatever the scoreline might be, we have the belief that we can get one back. If we do the right things and we work hard and we work as a team, we can get one back. We can get 2 back. We can go win this game.
Well, if last week's exciting finish and victory over ASU is any indication of what the season could hold, it's going to be a fun season for GCU Women's Club Soccer and brand new head coach Alex Martins. Coach Martins, thanks again for joining us here on the Varsity Sports Show, and we wish you luck tonight. We'll see you in a couple hours.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much.
And you're live.
I'm Jamie Jordan from Varsity Sports on the AM 1060 radio here in Arizona. So joining me today is Vince Delicio and Maria Guajardo. In studio, actually joining us today online is Joshua Oheb, who was down at Tempe versus La Jolla earlier last night. So I was just actually talking with Jorge, and I want to hear your side, Joshua. What was the turning point in that game?
So, 2 defenses that worked so efficiently starting the game off. We didn't see any score until almost half when La Jolla got their first touchdown, and then Tempe responded right back. But really, it was an interception by number 6, Jaden Rodriguez, that he left the ball for 25 yards down the field, and that was just a huge turning point right there. The score was 14-7, and that was just a really essential play for Tempe to kind of settle the game down for them.
Hey, Joshua, this is Jorge. You and I called this game last night. It was full of excitement, but I want to get you to talk about a player on the defense. He was your player of the game last night. We talked about it. Zion Walters, 3 sacks officially on the season. He had what we counted probably another 3 more. He was in the backfield all night. Could you tell the listeners a little bit about him?
Yeah, he is just a huge defensive player. He was, in my eyes, the one defensive player that just led the defense. He was attacking 2 minutes on Joshua and right and third down the middle. He had his first sack was on he did a blitz and he just tore right through the yellow line. I mean, once he gets going, you cannot stop him. And Obviously, his other teammates on defense too, they were also notable. That they were helping him, but I mean, his force is just something to be reckoned with.
All right, Joshua, it's Danny again. Like coming off the defense, there, it's very important to talk about because a lot of people always focus on the offense. But my question for you actually is, who do you think their biggest opponent is this season for Tempe?
For Tempe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the biggest opponent for Tempe, they just won a game last night, and now they're 3-1. Going forward, I think that their toughest game, I think it might be either next week or the week later. Sorry, I'm checking my sources real quick.
You're all good. But right after Joshua, we're going to have Naya Bell Castro on for Sunnyside versus Mika Mountain Cap.
Right. Naya Bel Castro joining us, Tucson, Sunnyside, Micah Mountain. Naya, huge win for Sunnyside.
Yes, most definitely.
Could you, sorry. No, go ahead, Naya.
Oh, I was going to say, it was a very interesting game. I don't think it was what everyone was expecting. I know, obviously, like, the Mountains came on top last year, and so, walking
2 minutes on Naya.
and really knew what they needed to do, and they definitely delivered.
Naya, this is Danny. I just want to ask you, so what was going on during the fourth quarter that stopped, like, either team from scoring? Like, was it the defense, offense, like, all of the above?
I think it was really a conglomeration between the two defenses versus strong both teams. I was completely voting on that other defense because even though my Mountain did allow some upsetting plays on the board, they still stopped so many plays. And in the fourth quarter, so third and fourth quarter specifically, there was a lot of penalties for my Mountain, but also for Sunnyside and the ball. No one could seem to hold on to it. There were so many turnovers, it was crazy.
Naya, thank you so much for joining us. We are going to take a quick 2-minute break, but come right back and join us here at AM 1060 KDUS.
Hello, Varsity Sports Show family. I'm Tommaso Perez from ASU. Join me as I bring you inspiring sports stories and updates from our
And you're live.
I'm Jamie from Varsity Sports on the AM 1060 radio, KDUS radio here in Arizona. Joining me today is Vince Alicio and Jorge Fajardo. In studio, joining us online is Verizon head coach Tyson Ditmore. So, Coach Ditmore, I was going to ask you, what did you see from your players last night? Like, what did they do, or like, what have you been trying to teach them, like, get into the basketball season that they did during that game?
I think we did a really good job of, eliminating some of their top players. I think our boys did an awesome job of, playing a better game in the second half and adjusting to what we needed to do, and just showed some grit. It's a really good football team that we played.
Coach Jorge here. So I had the privilege to see you guys scrimmage Morena before the season started, and I could tell that this team was going to be really good. Could you talk about your defense, though, particularly giving up only 7 points? I think giving up 7 points on any level is quite the achievement.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Anderson is a really good friend of mine and kind of a mentor that, I worked with in the past. He does an awesome job with, schematically setting things up for the guys and our kids, out there. And they have a passion. They know that, defense is a forefront. They know I'm a defensive guy, and they love playing defense here.
And it's Danny again. Just to switch to the offense. So, what do you expect from your QB Carter Puma coming up with the season? Like, after this win, what do you see for the rest of the season?
Well, I think Carter's a humble kid, and that he's doing really good for us. Managing the game, but I think Carter also knows that he's improving every week, and he's just a humble kid who's staying under the radar, and we're excited to continue to see him, grow throughout the season.
Coach Jorge here again. Keeping it on the offense, Bodie Zamorano having a huge year, 54 carries, 443 yards, averaging 8 yards a carry. Could you talk a little bit about how and why he's so effective running the ball?
I think Bodie is number one. He's a great person. Just a leader. He's been doing this. This is his 4th year on varsity year, and he just gets his vision, his speed, his power. He's really done an awesome job. I couldn't be more proud of him as a young man, number one. And I hope he gets an opportunity to play at the next level.
Do you see any of your players playing at the next level coming up soon?
Yeah, I do. I think there's a couple of our guys. We got 29 or 28 years, but I think all of them, if they wanted to, they could have an opportunity to try to go play somewhere. But the good thing about this group is that they're focused on the positive that we're building right now.
Coach Jorge here again. I asked Coach Kelly earlier about two-way players. You said your team loves playing defense. I know Bodie has some defensive snaps, but not all of them. Do your guys play two-way, and what? In your opinion, do you think they like playing defense more? Your two-way players?
So we call them like 1.5 players.
Okay.
Certain package. 2 minutes on more. We think our guys are a little bit fresher when we have that on one side along. We also have an opportunity for 22 spots on the field that we can learn. But our kids, anybody I think is excited about playing defense. But it's just a lot of kids growing up are off into the skies, and they get a chance to have some fun and play around. So I think it's kind of a good little bit.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us today, Coach Tyson Ditmore. And next we have Marla Mundo with her Kate Ledke swimming history.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. I'm Marla Mondo. In honor of the upcoming swim season, I am highlighting the greatest female swimmer of all time, Katie Ledecky. At just 15 years old, Ledecky won her first gold medal in the 800-meter freestyle at the 2012 Summer Olympics in London. Ledecky went on to swim at Stanford, winning 8 NCAA titles, 15 NCAA records, back-to-back Pac-12 conference championships, and back-to-back NCAA championships. at Rio de Janeiro in 2016, Ledecky won 4 gold medals in the 200, 400, 800, 4x200, and she won silver medal in the 4x100 meter. Ledecky also set 2 world records in the 400 meter and 800 meter in the Olympics. Ledecky's best event was added in the rotation at the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo. She won a gold medal in the 1500 meter freestyle, an event where she commonly finishes before opponents even enter their final lap. She also won gold in the 800 meter free, silver in the 400 meter freestyle, and 4x200 meter freestyle. She became the most decorated female swimmer in Olympic history that year. Last summer was her 4th Olympic Games at Paris. So that was a 5-year with Team USA. She won a bronze medal in the 400 meter, a silver medal in the 4x200 meter, and 2 gold medals in the 800 meter and the 1500 meter freestyle. Ledecky is the most decorated female swimmer in history. She's tied with most gold medals won by women and is the most decorated American woman in Olympic history. She is an inspiration to all swimmers and non-swimmers alike. Well, with the Varsity Sports Show, signing out.
Listen, Frazier here with Varsity Sports, and NIL has changed the game for student athletes. For the first time, these athletes can earn money from sponsorships, social media, personal branding, and also competing at the NCAA level. Some deals up to 6 or even 7 figures, allowing players to support their families, pay tuition, or invest in their futures. However, it isn't all cupcakes and rainbows. There are some major concerns when it comes to this new game. The money isn't evenly distributed throughout the teams, and NIL can cause some risk between team chemistry, as one player may be getting close to $1 million, other teammates are earning pennies. We also have some instances where players are threatening to leave schools or deny offers because they aren't receiving a big enough paycheck. Well, the college experience will never be the same for student athletes, and NIL is just getting started. For Varsity Sports, this is Voice and Frazier recording.
ASU football picked up a big win on Saturday night against the Sun Devils, Texas State. For the Sun Devils, it was a chance to right the wrongs and fix some of the issues that plagued them throughout their game against Mississippi State. Those things were explosive plays, throwing the ball downfield.
All right, so everybody's up there, you guys.
The Sun Devils were limited to the explosive plays from Texas State, as they allowed none throughout the entire game.
And then,
Jeff in the pocket was able to deliver some huge passes to star receiver George Tyson.
we're going to have time, so we won't need to send it to commercials that fast. We'll have some time.
Okay.
The weekend was way more consistent this week, as it was led by USC
So maybe pitch it back to me and I'll send it to her.
Got it.
After the break.
Saturday,
Sounds good.
about 200 yards combined. ASU came away with a big win, but are now setting their sights on a very talented Baylor team. A team that has already defeated a ranked team in SMU and took Auburn to the brink the first week of the season. This team is being played Baylor, and Baylor plays very good at home. They always do very good at home, So this is going to be a very tough game for the Sun Devils. They're going to need their A game, and they're going to need to play their best ball with a really tough stretch coming up on their
And you're live.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show. I'm Fabian Mojardo. We're bringing in Greg Graves, who was at the Queen Creek Centennial game. Greg, could you talk a little bit about wide receiver Caden Kellogg? He scored the only touchdown of the game for the Queen Creek Bulldogs.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a tough night. Also, Queen Creek offense, but Caden Kellogg did a big strike. Man, I mean, 60-yard touchdown. I was excited, crowd was excited. It was truly a special play.
Hey, Greg, it's Danny. I was with you actually at the game on the field. So bouncing off instead of offensive, we go to the defense. So I know Tustin Dewitt was one of usually the most looked at defensive player they have. But who else were you looking at for the night?
Yeah, number 4 there, just trying to do the game. Obviously, scored. Wasn't really reflective of how Queen Creek played. 2 plays kind of absolutely altered that game for Queen Creek, and yeah, their position was all over the field offensively, just and defense played.
Greg, George here again. Could you talk a little bit about the body language, at least, that you saw after the game? This was Queen Creek's first loss. Could you talk about what you observed shortly after the game and the vibe, the feel of the team?
Yeah, I could tell there's definitely disappointment in the air, but I think one thing that remained true amongst all the players were, they seem to still have faith in one another, talking to each other, talking well with one another. It's just, I think even in the loss, they still remain, kind of that brotherhood mentality of we win together, we're going to lose together. I think that was super important for a team like that, for a team like that.
Hey, Greg, it's Danny again. I just want to bounce back to your answer from my last question. What two plays were those that kind of was the turning point for Centennial?
Yeah, Centennial had a pick six late, and then they also had a punt return early in the game. Those two plays alone accounted for 14 points, and if you get the two plays, it was 14 instead of the ball game. So those two plays, like I mentioned, were just absolutely massive in some of this game, just like football determined, but those two plays changed everything.
That was Greg Graves covering the Queen Creek Centennial game. Vince, what are your thoughts?
Again, every team needs a reset. Every team needs to, get better along the way, and sometimes it means taking a step back and retooling. And it's the important game to win is the last game. Whatever that last game may be, that is the most important game. You get into the postseason, you need to win that last game, and the life lessons and the teachable moments along the way. Everybody wants to win. Obviously, not everybody does, but you take what you can, you get better, and so that you win that last game. So. On that note, Greg, thanks again for joining us here on the Varsity Sports Show, and really enjoy your coverage. You're doing a great job for us this semester.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.
Awesome. What do we have coming up next, by the way?
We have a break.
And after the break.
And then we have Marla Mundo. We're finally going to get Marla Mundo on for our recap. Faith Lutheran, Arborview.
Vegas.
Yeah, some Vegas action. Always good.
All right. And beyond that, we'll have Dane Palmer, one of our field correspondents and broadcasters that will be joining us live, giving us a recap of Mountain View Bash. And then we're going to do our JUCO report. We'll be joined by Coach Doug Nadowski of the HACAC for his weekly check-in, state of the state and what's going on in the league. Looking forward to a couple of big games tonight, kicking off. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back after the break.
I think he's a little early, so you have more time with Marla, more time with everybody, so you're all set.
Nice.
Join the Rooster this Sunday as he'll be at Social Tap in Old Town Scottsdale on the corner of Stetson and Drinkwater, giving away prizes between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m.
Hey, listeners, it's Vince Felicio from the Varsity Sports Show.
Hey guys, Vince here from the Varsity Sports Show. Nothing beats a hometown touchdown, on the field and on the table. Join us at Zips or Goldies, where families, friends, and teams come together for great food. They make everything fresh, like their hearty burgers or irresistible focaccias. The restaurants are family friendly with a huge menu and plenty of seating. Goldies Sports Cafe is in Scottsdale at Via Linda and Mountain View Road, and Zips Sports Grill has 14 Valley locations. Come hungry. See you soon at Zips or Goldies.
Hey guys, good afternoon. Valley Sports and Phoenix Metro area. My name is Jorge Anwajardo. Let me introduce myself. I'm currently a graduate student at Arizona State University, and I'm also a Navy vet. I'm hoping to bring the Valley the hard-hitting sports coverage that Phoenix deserves. From high school Friday night lights to playoff pressure, I'll deliver the facts, the stats, and the stories that matter to all Valley sports fans.
Hey guys, Vince here to talk about Angel Dentistry. It's where my wife and I have gone for over 10 years, and we trust them with our routine and extensive. Hey fans, Vince with the Varsity Sports Show. You've had the rest. Now treat yourself to the best Japanese grill in Arizona. It's the Boss. Boss Bocce Japanese Grill in Mesa. Grilled shrimp, steak, and all the best veggies with or without a twist of spice. Sure to please everyone. Dine in or take out. Located at University and Country Club in Mesa. Open daily. 602-859-3759. The Boss. Boss Bocce. Hablamos Español.
And you're live.
I'm Danny McDermott with Varsity Sports on the AM 1060 KDUS radio here in Arizona. Joining me today is Vince Delicio and Olivia Guajardo. Now, out in Vegas, joining us today is Marla Mundo with talking about Faith Lutheran versus Arborview football game last night. So, Marla, I just wanted to ask you, can you talk about like two-point conversion by Faith Lutheran to finish the game?
Yeah, the Patriots were already down 3 sessions going into that 2-point conversion. Actually, what happened was they didn't have their quarterback throw the ball to get that long touchdown, that 25-yard touchdown. They actually had Ava Kuloa, the wide receiver, throw that touchdown, and then he ended that drive with that 2-point conversion there to get the score a little bit more manageable for Faith Lutheran.
Hey, Marla, Jorge here. So it looks like Arborview has a very diverse offense. They like to air it out. They like to sling it around. Could you talk a little bit about their offense and how dynamic it is?
Yeah, they've got multiple people that they can call on in that game. That offense, they're led by Thaddeus Asher. He's the number 26 quarterback in the class of 2027. His favorite target in that game was Mary Bell, the running back. He actually had one receiving touchdown and he had another rushing touchdown. So the Mary Bell was really important. I mean, he also had 6, really good defense and offense. And they also had Nyla Johns, the other running back, who had a pair of touchdowns also.
That's Dan again. Just flipping it actually over to Faith Lutheran. When you were watching the game, what was like the dynamic between the Jaden Mason, the QB for Faith Lutheran?
Yeah, so Jaden Mason was one of his biggest targets so far. They just had such connection. You look for him on almost every play. He was the first option. And then even though that option for his tight end back there, he was another huge target for Aguilar.
Hey, Marla, it's Jorge again. Just real quick, talking about Thatcher there, he doesn't have as many attempts as the other quarterback. I believe it's Redmond. Do you know why that is or have any idea, Kane Redmond?
I believe there was an injury going on earlier in the season and just general kind of load management. You don't really do that in football, but they were resting him a bit, and that's probably why he ended up attached.
All right. Thank you for joining us today, Marla. We are actually going to go to Dane Palmer with the Mountain View versus. We're actually going to talk about the Mountain View Basha game because, everyone's been talking about Basha. They're number 1 in Arizona, top 25 in the United States. So, Jorge, what are you looking for to look like watching Basha's games? Because I know a lot of people, like my friends, are like, I can't wait to cover Basha.
Yeah, can they keep this going? They are a complete team, a complete offense, a complete defense. They're obviously the number 1 team in the state. They're balanced and they can put it on you quick. This last game, they dropped 17 points in that second quarter to distance themselves from the Mountain View. So I'm just going to see if they can keep this up.
No, honestly, like I come from a huge area where we always have. I don't know if you've ever heard of De La Salle, or I know modern day is a little bit lower in California. It's just watching football, especially on Friday nights. It's an experience, and I would say, seeing videos and highlight clips of Basha, it just reminds me of back when I was in high school, watching my school play against the Sarah where Sarah actually went down to California for the national for state champions in 2022 and 2023 actually.
Right. I think we finally have Dane Palmer. Dane, tell us a little bit about that Basha game. We just mentioned that they were able to take over the game in the second quarter, scoring 17 points. What went down in that second quarter where Basha was able to pull away?
Yeah, Basha just was able to force turnovers right at the end of the second quarter. They forced a strip sack and were able to take that to the house. And that kind of was an edge that they had over Mountain View that Mountain View was just never able to get over. It was a great game. Mountain View was able to execute in a lot of different ways in the second half. But yeah, they just could not get over just first half of the six.
You know, honestly, this Danny again, I just wanted to ask you, looking at the score, like the stats, just holding their own against Basha, I guess, in the second half. What would you say that was done better in the first half?
I would say in the first half, just protecting the ball.
2 minutes on Dane, and Doug is ready.
At the end of the half, in the first half, they were kind of push downfield and try to get some points with a little bit of time left. And they ended up turning the ball over and that needed to scoop it and score. And 7 points for Basha. So I would just say they could have protected the ball a little better and just kept they did everything right. Basha was just a great team. They got a lot of athletes, they got a lot of guys that are gonna make a ton of plays. It's just gonna happen when you play a team like that. So just protecting the ball and not sticking to the game plan is what they really put it down better. And there's not too much more they could have done to avoid what happened Friday night.
Right. Thank you, Dane. That was Dane Palmer recapping the Mountain View versus Basha game. We are now going to go to HGCAC League Director, Doug Madowski. Doug.
Take it away, Corey.
Sorry.
On AM 1060 KDUS Arizona, the Varsity Sports Show. News and notes from the local college athletic conference. And joining us on the line in this weekly segment to give us a state of JUCO football here in the state of Arizona is Executive Director of the HGCAC, Coach Doug Madowski. Coach Madowski, with all this extra time you have since you're not coaching a team, what are you doing? Are you laying out by the beach? What's going on, Coach?
We've got all 4 teams in action this week, so we're trying to make sure they're all ready to go. And just want to make sure tonight and see what's tonight and go on for the future.
There's some unknowns going into tonight's matchups, and because it is the first game of the season for 3 of these teams, so you've got some North Sidewinders that are visiting Salt River Scorpions. I had a chance to see the Scorpions last week, hosting Arizona Christian in their first outing. And then on the other side of town, which is the game we're going to be broadcasting, we've got the Paco Pumas visiting the Gila River Hawks tonight at Camp Verde High School, 7 p.m. kickoff. Definitely got to get out for that one. What can you tell us a little bit about each team?
Well, I mean, it's a little challenging to keep that update when I having to play.
Yeah.
I guess what I would say is that Hurts, we were awesome. I just sitting there going to the roster. One of the things that stood out to me was the amount of kids we have occupied the roster. I want to say that the second one might have one, maybe 2 guys that obviously the players all of us from school, from all over the valley, and from the building everywhere, you can say. I think we're really trying to look at the roster, but this is one of the years that, I think this last week,
2 minutes on the asking.
They had a lot of you guys a lot of they started looking at the other rosters and realized the depth of recruiting in Arizona coach to the line. I think it's pretty important. I think at the end of the day, we got started, we really wanted to bring up things back for young people here in the state of Arizona and as a primary mission. I think it's one of those years that I think we actually started to achieve that goal. That we've focused more locally, focused just more than the Davies had. I'm not really I think that the majority team they've got your guys on. I think that's where the excitement comes to work. I've always said it's development in football players, and I think that just having to be young, having to figure out not 1 year or going into the first year, I'm excited to see how some of these rosters continue to develop, and then clearly as players develop until they move on to the next opportunity.
Coach, looking forward to getting caught up with you tonight out at Campo Verde High School, where, again, the Gila River Hawks will be taking on the Paco Pumas, 7 p.m. kickoff. Let's get out there, guys. It's going to be a great game, and, of course, we're carrying the broadcast. Thanks so much, Coach Doug Adasi, Executive Director of the HJCC. Coach, quick question. Did you have something?
Yes, sir.
Oh, go ahead. No, did you want to add something? I'm sorry.
Me?
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right, Coach. We'll talk to you tonight. Thanks for joining us. All right. Yeah, love Coach Nadowski. He's a good dude, and definitely in it for the kids and advancing the cause of junior college football here in the state of Arizona. Guys, impressions of the show. It went by fast. What do you think, George?
Super fun, super fast. Obviously, some kinks to work out, but I felt like we got stronger as the game went on.
Yeah, good stuff. And Annie, what about you?
Well, I definitely will say I was nervous at first, but I always have the nerves and I get rid of them really fast. But honestly, I had a really good partner, and you also you helped us a lot, and I really appreciate that. And it comes up.
Awesome. I appreciate that. That's very kind. And you guys did a great job. My assessment is you did an awesome job picking up the ball, running with it, and as we're going through, it's live radio, guys. And today was the debut of our simulcast live stream on all of our social media platforms. We're broadcasting to 7 destinations today: Facebook Live, Instagram, X, 3 YouTube channels, and NFHS. So, guys, thanks so much. Just a great moment, a great day here in the studio. But we have a lot coming up tonight. We're going to be out at Campo Verde High School for the Gila River Hawks hosting Paco Pumas. On the other side of town at Sunny Slope High School, we've got the Salt River Scorpions hosting the Sonoran Sidewinders. And then tonight at 8 o'clock, we've got some GCU Club soccer out at Culture Field on the campus of Grand Canyon University. We'll be broadcasting that one as well. 8 o'clock, start time for that one. A lot of good stuff. And most of all, keep tuning in for updates throughout our social media tonight, this afternoon, and of course, getting into next week. Thanks so much for tuning into the Varsity Sports Show. On behalf of all of our guests, our field correspondents, the coaches that joined us today, all the amazing people, and in the studio here with our very own broadcast team, co-host Jorge Guajardo and co-host Daniel McDermott here on the Varsity Sports Show. On behalf of our amazing team and our amazing producer behind the glass, Mr. Corey Walsh, my name is Vince Delicio. Thanks again for joining us here on the Varsity Sports Show. Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you out there in the field somewhere tonight or online. Go Varsity.
All clear, guys.
Thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show. Our mission is to empower education and enable dreams, creating a platform to promote young people in extracurricular activities and community outreach. If you are interested in partnering up with the Varsity Sports Show, find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or call or text us at 480-779-9437. The Varsity Sports Show, Arizona's home for youth, high school, college, and you.